Hey everyone, my name is Jackson, and I'm going to be doing something today that I've been wanting to do for a long time now, and that's do my coming out video. Now, a lot of LGBT people in the world, um, when they're trying to find themselves and go through their own experiences and their story, they look up coming out videos because it's something that they can get hope. They can see what other people have gone through. What can they do? So I want to share you my story, just like other hundreds of people have, and if it can help anyone out there, by all means, then I'll feel like I succeeded. It's a little late. I came out 3 years ago. Um, and yeah, but I've been wanting to do it. I've just never gotten around to it, and I've always just put it off, and I shouldn't. So I'm finally doing it today. Okay, so a little bit about my background. I'm Canadian born. I was born in Toronto, Canada, but I was raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where my father's from, till I was 9 or 10. And then my parents actually split when I was young, my biological parents. And well, my biological dad split with my mom, and they split. And I went through joint custody battles pretty much for a little while. And then once that all got sorted and my mom got custody over me, she took me to New Zealand with her new man. In those few years, my mom found a new man who became my father, who raised me in New Zealand since I was about 9 or 10 years old. New Zealand's a very beautiful country. It was a different culture difference for me coming from Canada and New Zealand. It's very different. Um, so I went through that. I could, for sexuality wise, when I was young, I couldn't say that I really was attracted to guys. I'm not one of those guys that were like, yeah, I knew since I was 5. I really didn't look at guys or girls that way. I mean, I did have a little, the little childhood sweetheart when I was a kid before I left Canada, but it was just fun. I maybe even kissed her once or twice. I don't even really remember. I think it was still cutesy. Um, but yeah, I would say that I didn't really start getting attracted to guys till I was about 12 or 13. Um, anyway, sorry. So moving to New Zealand. New Zealand's an amazing place. I love New Zealand. But it's a tough culture. It's a very manly culture. I mean, for growing up as a guy, very sport orientated, very, you hang out with the boys, it's just that kind of laid back but fun community. If you grew up in a bigger city, then you'd be fine. There's obviously more diverse, there's more community clubs and stuff you can join. But I grew up in Taupo, which is a very small place. So you got your groups, and it's a lot harder. And me, I'm a performing artist. I'm an actor. I was a dancer for a while, and growing up in a small community, that you get teased quite a lot. So yeah. Anyway, so I grew up there in Taupo, and I was fine all the way through school. I had the odd attraction, but I always kind of put it aside. I always just thought it was comes down to puberty and stuff. And I was just really focusing on the performing arts, and that brought a lot of bullying onto me. I was teased, which I think even put me more into the closet. Being called gay and fag and whatever for so long, I got to the point where I kind of wanted to prove them wrong. Not that I already accepted that's who I was, but I was like, if that is who I am, I want you to be wrong. So it kind of put me more into the closet. So that's why I always tell my friends now, if you ever assume someone else is gay, don't say, oh, you're gay, or, I'm not saying in a bully way, but don't try to, like, say, come on, you're gay, come out. Because then a lot of the times they get that wall up and they want to defend it. And they want to be like, no, I'm not. And it pushes them more, which in the end gets a lot more long term emotional problems. Anyway, so through my teenage years, I really didn't do anything. I didn't really date anyone. I had a few girlfriends, but I'm talking guys wise. I didn't really date many. Well, didn't date any, I should say. I had girlfriends and a 2 year actually relationship. But I always looked at the typecast poster and was like, he's hot. But then I just, like I said, I just always put it down to puberty. And then that went through all of my teenage years. Then I went to uni, I went to drama school, and that was a lot more accepting. I had a lot more friends because it's performing arts. and I kind of just put it aside. But I kind of had in the back of my head that something was wrong with me. I'm looking up these things, I'm looking into it more. I'm seeing that my attraction to guys are a lot there, but then also like there was for a bit for a female as well. But I'm not bi, by the way. But I just think it was because you get told to, Halle Berry, Jessica Alba, Angelina Jolie, all these hot women, which confused me. So I remember talking to a friend once, and I said, "What can I do?" And not that he knew what I was meaning. I was just like, I want to do something a bit more manlier. Being a performing artist, softens you up. What can toughen me up? And he said, "Why don't you get into security?" Which I first laughed because I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm not bam arms or anything. Um, but I did it. I just okay. So I got into bar security, which then got into nightclub, bouncing. Then I got into security for an arena, personal security. I did it for 5 years. I got into a really tough situations. I was getting in fights after fights after fights, which I thought would work. I was hanging around with the boys, and that was my surrounding. Other than when I was doing my drama, being at drama school from like 18 to 23, that was it. Went out with the boys. Someone gets smart to you. You're always just jumping in there, getting into a fight. And I thought this would make me more manlier. Let's just say no. Yes, I got more stronger. I could protect myself now, but that didn't change who I am internally. You know, I mean, I've learned that now, but for ages I didn't. So yeah, all the way through my drama school years and my bouncing years, I just thought that I was going in the right path. And then I got to I was 22, 23, and I was like, yeah, this is not working. And I just quit bouncing. I was like, I'm just not happy anymore. It's just not who I am. And I got into fashion and retail fashion. Just yes, typecast, but I just wanted something different. So I got into that, and I just started researching more. I never still went gay clubbing. I never dated. I never did anything with that. Actually, my last girlfriend was about a year before I came out. So 4 years ago. So anyway, I did the retail, and I've been moving around a lot. I've been with the acting. I've been trying different places: Melbourne, London, Auckland, and Wellington for New Zealand. I was in LA for a year, so I was keeping really busy and really didn't have time to really find myself. So hence the videos, the coming out videos. I used to look up LGBT film festival entries and short films that people have put on YouTube just to try to understand it slowly. And then when I got a little bit older, 23, 24, I finally started trying something with guys. I tried something, but then I felt like I was sinning. It just was really hard for me. I'd run away from it. I'd do it, and then I wouldn't do anything for 6 months because I was so afraid that what I was doing was wrong, because that was what was put in my head, and I had to really beat that down. I had to get rid of that, but it took a while. And then finally, when I left Melbourne, because I went Wellington after drama school, I went to LA, then back to New Zealand, and then I went to Melbourne and back to New Zealand, then I went to London, back to New Zealand, and then Sydney. So I've been all around the place. I've just returned from Sydney now. So anyway, so left Melbourne. I'm finally coming to terms. This was after my last girlfriend 4 years ago, and I'm just like, I gotta do something, but I just didn't know how to, because I didn't go out and meet. I put gays aside. I did never. Of course you meet them in performing arts, but I'd never really be friends with them because you're afraid that they're going to out you. So anyway, I decided to go on holiday before I moved back to New Zealand, and I went to Vegas. I went with one of my friends. We turned up to Vegas, and we did a bit of a tour around, did the scene thing, and then she just randomly got sick. She just yeah, she was done. She was like, I'm not going out. But she didn't want me to stay home because she wanted to, she didn't want to, for me to lose the Vegas experience. So she was just like, don't worry, I'll just sleep. You go out and have fun. Now, I'm not really much of a clubber on my own type person, but I found this as a opportunity, and I really do believe in that everything happens for a reason, to finally go gay clubbing for a first time, to try to be around in that environment and see what would happen. So I looked it up on my phone, and I went out, and there's a little stretch of like 3 gay clubs in Vegas off the strip. And I went out, and I had the most amazing time, and these people are hitting on me, and it was just new, and I'm experiencing them talking, and it was just it was really weird, but it's new. And then there's this one guy, which if he is ever watches this, he knows who he is. He came up and he was just Mr. Romeo to me. He didn't touch me. He didn't make me feel bad. He just listened. He asked questions. He knew I was very fresh because I told him, and he just was just amazing. And the whole night, he just really was a gentleman. And then I ended up spending the night with him. I walked around Vegas holding his hand, and that was the first time when I held his hand that I knew that this was right. I knew this is it. This is what I want. I'm 25, and yeah, this is what I wanted. So I continued on to Canada. I saw my family, and I just decided, I was like, when I get back to New Zealand, I'm going to start to come out slowly and just do this right. So anyway, get to New Zealand. Like I said, I'm 25 years old, and move into this flat, not realizing they're all gay. They're all very, very masculine guys, and I move in with them, and I find out when I'm moving in that, because they said there was a couple and then there's another single guy. One of the partner wasn't there. So when I moved in, I assumed she was a female, and I find out when I'm moving in it's a gay couple and a single guy, and so I'm like moving into an environment that I really didn't want straight away because it still wasn't out. But I thought, okay, whatever. I moved in, everything was fine, until I actually was outed a couple of weeks into it. I'm seeing how happy they were, this couple, and one night I was drinking, and I decided to tell one of my flatmates that I was gay, and that I wanted him. I said, please don't tell anyone, which in the community, everyone knows. If someone outs themselves to you, you do not say anything. Don't matter who you are. If you're the parents, the brother, the sister, the current boyfriend, the best friend, cousin, who, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You have no right to out someone. I told him in confidence, but he decides, no, I won't tell anyone, except the girls that live next door. Fast forward, a couple of weeks later, which is now my out day, St. Patty's Day, we had a big St. Patty's Day party, and I was on the balcony, and I was asked by one of the girls in front of everyone, my best friends are there, everyone's there, are you gay, are you bi? And I went, and I froze, and they were like, it doesn't matter, you told, I won't name names, but you told so-and-so last week. And I just froze, and I went inside, and I just didn't know if my friends heard it, and I went down to my room, and I was furious. I was absolutely fuming. And yeah, I just lost it. The girls came down, and I didn't know if my friends heard me. They were like, "Oh, it's fine." They're acting like it was nothing. I'm like, "Oh, it's nothing." Which, like I said, you had no right to do that. And I finally just told the girls to go get them because I couldn't go ask. Oh, did you hear? Oh, you didn't. Oh, well, never mind then. I mean, like, come on. So the girls came down. Came down, got my friends, came back. I couldn't even say it. It was so hard. I couldn't even say it. And the girls told my friends, and they were fine about it. They hugged me. They were like, "I'm so happy for you," and that was the first approval that I got, and that just gave me so much power. I felt energized. Like the next day at uni, I'm like, I'm telling people now. I don't know why. I felt so confident, and I started telling people. Within a few weeks, I had this guy hitting on me who became my boyfriend, which I would suggest if you come out late, don't run into a relationship like I did. Take your time. I did it because I've been wanting, obviously, subconsciously for so long. But yeah, but he was amazing anyway, and he helped me so much. I mean, I never regret. And then I finally was like, okay, I need a weekend, and I'm going to fly back to Auckland because I'm in Wellington at the moment and finishing my last year of uni. I took breaks, if you're wondering why about the story. And I flew to Auckland, and I walk in, and I'm staying with my parents for a few days, and I decide I'll do it in the middle day. So if there's a problem, I can just go stay at a friend's house. And I'm like, oh, my bro. Dad goes out, and I'm like, okay. And I'm sweating, and I'm like, Mom, I need to tell you something. Which I've said that to my mom heaps of times. I mean, I've moved everywhere. I've like, oh, Mom, I'm moving here. Mom, I'm doing this. It's not like, Mom, I'm doing something line she hasn't heard before. And she just knew. She was like, you want to tell me that you're gay? And I was like, what? how did she know? Like, I know mom intuition, but we just cried, and she just hugged me and told me how much she loved me and she'd be there for me. And she asked me why, like what was my time like what I've been going through, how long I've known. She got angry at me that I didn't live it with her, like living the finding out for myself, kind of like the bestie would do, even though my best friend didn't know, no one knew. Um, and I just said, look, I just need to do this on my own. And yeah, she hugged me, and then I told her I had a boyfriend because I did, which was hilarious. She was like, oh, bring him up. So I mean, I know I had an accepting response. Not everyone has that, but it's nice. Um, but it's not always been the case. My mom turned around and was like, I'll tell your dad. And I was like, okay, sweet as, don't saves me. So I told my dad. My dad was awesome about it. Um, and then I had to tell my family back in Canada. Um, and I pretty much just told them by messages and the stuff, because I mean, I really didn't grow up with them. So it was a lot more easier to tell them, and they were amazing. Um, and then I just decided to tell my other best friends, and I was just very lucky. But the one thing that I have had a little issues with was my like my aunties, my uncles, my cousins. A lot of my family on my mom's side are Jehovah's Witnesses. This is when the religious side comes in, who it's a lot harder. And I've had a lot of them that have been amazing and accepting, but then I've had a lot of them that just drop me and don't talk to me. And you know what? I'm fine with that. That's their problem. That's their accepting problem. I'm family and blood to them, but if they want to do that, I can't do anything about it. But there was one guy that was in my life that I really wanted to be accepted by, and that was one of my cousins, who's like a brother to me. Again, he knows who he is. I've been close with him for the last few years, now even longer now, talking in that moment, and I really wanted to. We had that kind of brother bond. He's overseas. I used to fly over over to him and see him, and I after I came out and did that year, that actually first year, I on Facebook I actually blocked all my Jehovah's Witness family from seeing any activity because I was just so afraid. And then after I finished my last year of uni, I moved to London, which was closer to where my cousin was. And the year 2012, when gay marriage went through in New Zealand, which I was so proud of that moment, I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to hide this from my family anymore, my Jehovah's Witness family. I'm going to put it out on Facebook, and that's me. Accept me. I just had a proud moment. I did. And within like 5-10 minutes, I got a text from him saying, are you gay? And I remember just going back to that. It just felt like I was back a year ago, and all the butterflies. I didn't want to lose them. Like I said, anyone else, I didn't really care. But since I had this bond, I didn't want to lose them. And I remember getting the text, and I texted back. I said, "Yeah, because I am. I hope you're all right with it." And he was just like, "Look, I kind of already knew. I kind of guessed. I don't care." And he was amazing, and that made our 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 relationship like even more. Yes, I was one of the first gay people he ever knew, which I helped him with. But years and years and years and years have gone by, and it's been amazing. Gotten closer. So yeah, um, that's been it. And now it's a few years later. I've had a few boyfriends. I've gone through every relationship problem. It works and it doesn't. But now I'm happy. So for all you people that come out late, it doesn't matter. It gets better. And now I'm so happy. And I wanted to do this video. So if anyone out there wants to message me questions, I just want to help. If you can relate, growing up in a tougher neighborhood and it's being hard, I can feel you trying to change yourself, but just accept yourself and enjoy life. And yeah, anyone, I'll put my Instagram down there, comment, and I will help out. And I'm so glad I finally got to see this video. And it's so great to be in an amazing community. Okay, all right, take care. Love you all. Look after yourself. Be safe. Ciao. Bye.